Yes, yes. Thank you, Kara, for a great talk and for really getting us on track here with this topic. So my name is Mark Hahn. I'm from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. I'm a member of the Planning Committee, and it's a real pleasure to be here and to see all of you here in the audience. The objective of this first session is to explore new technologies and methods and strategies for detecting and identifying and quantifying microplastics and nanoplastics in the environment and their associated contaminants so that we can assess the distribution of these materials in the environment and in food. And so the presentation this morning will cover what we know about the levels of microplastics in different environments, as well as some of the methodologies under development to increase our knowledge in this area. And this is important because it will feed into understanding exposure of humans and other animals in the environment, which is important for helping to understand the risk of those to those organisms. Now, this will reiterate a point that Kara made. In trying to measure microplastics in the environment, one of the biggest challenges is that what we call microplastics is not a single contaminant like lead or even a uniform group of contaminants like PCBs, but rather a really diverse and complex mixture of materials. And this is illustrated in a figure from a review from Chelsea Rockman, but also in the slide that Kara showed. There are many different polymers, different additives, different sizes, morphologies, and associated contaminants. So it's a major challenge to try to measure the amounts and the characteristics of these materials in the environment. And the first session today is going to focus on what we know about the presence of microplastics and what the emerging methods are to measure them. So we're going to start out with a talk from Dr. Bart Coleman, who will speak about some of the best practices in measuring microplastics and the importance of quality control in making those measurements. Dr. Jennifer Lynch will then tell us about the new technologies for identifying polymer type, and she's going to give us some real-world examples of applying these technologies. Then after a brief break, Dr. Elke Anklum will discuss some of the current knowledge gaps in analytical approaches and describe some progress being made in Europe in filling those knowledge gaps. And after each talk, we should have time for a couple of brief clarifying questions, but I would ask you to hold complicated questions for the panel discussion that will follow the three speakers. And that panel will include the speakers as well as a couple of additional participants, Kay Ho from the US EPA and Amy Urin from NOAA.